Well, good evening, and welcome to our weekly meditation. My name is Reverend Rob Banashak, and I am the pastor of the Institute for Spiritual Development, and we have been holding a Wednesday evening meditation for several years now. Let me see who else is arriving. Helen's here. As I was saying, we've hosted meditations for several years now. They were monthly when we were in our sanctuary, and since we have been doing our services and events online, we've been doing them weekly. So it is just wonderful to gather midweek to just take a breather, to spend some time in the stillness, to spend some time with our own thoughts, and to allow this beautiful set of cards that I have called the Earth Magic Deck to guide our meditation. So it's pretty simple. What I will do is I will shuffle the cards in front of you, and then I will choose just one card, and I'm going to choose the top card so that you can see the card that I have selected. And that will be our card for the week. So this will be the message, the word, the guiding principle as we move forward from tonight into next Wednesday. I will read a little bit about the card and what the book says about the card, and then I'm going to give you a chance to look at that card, to get to know it and understand it, and then we will enter into the stillness and meditate on it. So thank you again for being here. Let's meditate. So again, I'm going to shuffle them in front of you so that you can see what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to choose the top one. So I'm just moving them around. I never professed to be a great shuffler. Stop now. You've added your energy to the cards. If you want to just kind of hold up your hands one more time, direct your thoughts to the card. This next card that we pick is going to be our card for the week. And that card is... oh, interesting. So the card we have chosen for this week is DNA Karma. So our card is DNA. Our message is about karma tonight. Let's see if I can get this on our camera so that you can look at it as I read about it. So there we have the card, DNA Karma. So you get a chance to look at the card. I am going to open the book, and let's see what the Earth Magic book has to say about karma and DNA. Here we go. Karma, a concept in many Eastern religions, is a Sanskrit word implying the greater universal laws of cause and effect, providing an implied code of ethics within the structure of these seemingly endless cycles of birth, death, and rebirth, which we experience throughout our lives, in many different versions. The mistaken notion about karma is that it is some kind of punishment, but it is far from that. In fact, in its purest form, it simply asserts that our conduct in this lifetime will determine our next incarnation. It also has come to mean how our behavior and actions in this lifetime create consequences in a slightly different version of the Golden Rule. We not only carry our soul's karma into this lifetime, but also embedded into the complex coding of our DNA is our ancestral karma. The double helix structure of DNA contains codes that have been passed down from our parents and grandparents as well as our ancestors. Therefore, we have some of the same genetic information that comes from the DNA of very early humans. In this card, and you can see it right there on your screen, we see two intertwined serpents with double helixes on either side. Variations of this archetypal image exist in many cultures, both traditional and contemporary. It's a graphic representation of the most ancient ancestry we can lay claim to, our DNA, the fundamental substance of life itself that provides substantial determination of our life path. And so we've drawn this card, and it says that aspects of your soul entered your primitive physical self long before you had begun to take form. While the DNA that you inherited from your biological parents has a physical component, it also has a soul pattern that came together in the creation of you. You are predisposed to follow the karmic dictates of this patterning to some extent, yet as you evolve in your consciousness and expand the light of awareness, you can make choices that shift and modify this ancestral design. This is one of those times. You can feel the tug of your soul that is both ancient and karmic, and yet you also recognize the persistent and loving communication from your higher self that contradicts the more familiar solutions before you. The choice is up to you, but know that every time you heed the guidance of your higher self, no matter what etheric or physical form it takes, human consciousness is elevated. In a sense, it becomes a choice between destiny and fate. So for this card for our week, we are resolving and bringing together perhaps a karmic exchange that we have been involved in. And the book is saying, and we can be guided by it, that some of it might be ancestral and some of it might be our higher self letting us know how we are able to transcend that ancestral karma and make choices for this life that forever change the DNA for the future. So think about that. Take a good look at the card. I'm going to pull the card up so that you can see it close up, or at least its own self. So take a good look at that card. And as you do, find a place for yourself that is a place where you can relax and recline, or sit up if you want to keep your back straight. If you're sitting, your feet are flat on the floor, your hands are open comfortably in your lap. Your palms are open to receive. If you're lying down, your feet are extended beyond you and your hands again are placed at your sides with your palms open gently. If you could have a gentle pillow underneath your neck and perhaps underneath your back and maybe even underneath your knees to keep everything flowing. We're going to think about this. We're going to think about the ancestral karma that we all hold in our DNA. We're going to think about what our higher self is telling us about choices to make regarding that ancestral karma. And then we're going to allow our higher consciousness to help us make that choice. And we'll do it just by starting into our meditation. So before we even close our eyes, let's pay attention to our breath. Let's pay attention to it as it enters into our body through our nose. And holding on to it, feeling it cleanse our body, and then exhale through our mouth. Good. Let it enter your body again. Inhale and hold and exhale. Just pay attention to how it feels. Again, inhale and exhale. And now just allow your breathing to return to normal, but before you drift away, before we take our journey, just pay attention to even its natural flow in and out, knowing that your breath is anchoring you on this plane, so we are able to journey briefly this evening to the next in our own stillness. And just allow your eyes to close as you breathe, inhaling and exhaling nice and full breaths. And as your eyes close, see if you can turn them upwards slightly while they're closed toward your third eye, where your third eye chakra is, right in the center of your forehead. So your eyes are closed and they very gently just lift up while they're closed towards your forehead. And imagine as they do, your vision, your true vision, your internal vision begins to open and become more clear. With our eyes turned up toward our third eye and our breath drawing in and out, we feel our body begin to relax completely. We feel that relaxation feeling start in our toes. And as we relax, that feeling is the sensation of a wonderful, warm, golden, luminous syrup that as it oozes and moves its way up our body, relaxes that portion of our body and allows it to just disappear from sight so that we can journey to the next plane. So imagine that golden oozing syrup slowly going past our ankles and our calves and just oozing up our knees, and as it does, those parts of our body become so relaxed that we almost feel them disappear just from sight, never from feeling. They are still there. And that golden syrup oozes up our thighs and around our hips and our buttocks, past our waist, up into our torso, relaxing, relaxing, up through our chest, and over our shoulders and out through our upper arms and our forearms and our wrists and our palms and our fingertips, as it just moves through our fingertips, everything is more and more relaxed. And that syrup oozes continuously up through our neck and our chin, and our lips, and our nose and cheeks and eyes, everything more and more relaxed. It's almost as if they've disappeared from sight, remain pain-free and irritation-free, itch-free. And as that syrup moves up through our third eye and out through our crown, it has also soothed any anxiety or emotional or spiritual pain that we might have been feeling before we started this evening. All has disappeared, allowing us to fully and more completely go deeper and deeper. Here in this space where we embrace the stillness, where we sense the shade of evening, but as a very comforting darkness that blankets us and makes us feel safe, we begin to allow our minds to reflect on that card that we had committed to our memory, in whatever way we remember it. We imagine that double helix of the card intertwined. And first we imagine it as a strand of DNA from our own physical body. And now we imagine that same strand of DNA, only thinking of that double helix. Let us expand our idea and imagine that DNA being our family DNA. Imagine our fathers and mothers. It's almost like we can see holograms of them as we look at the DNA, just kind of moving up the strand, perpetually, eternally. Perhaps we imagine our brothers and sisters on this strand of DNA, or our grandparents, our aunts and our uncles. And we just allow all of these family figures to float on this strand like holograms floating by us, and yet of us. Floating, floating. Until we just sense the essence of all of those who have come before us on this strand of DNA. We sense them clearly. We sense our presence with them. We allow ourselves to unite and align with them. As we feel ourselves uniting with perhaps essences of people we've never met, maybe even those we don't even know about, except that we sense their presence as part of our connection. We embrace and feel the comfort of this generational connection. Fully and completely. Owning it, claiming it, embracing it. That connection, that alignment. As the tones fade, we become aware, just from our intuition, of an experience or a feeling, one that we sense is always been with us, but not a part of us. Perhaps it's a belief about ourselves or about the world. Something that when we open our hearts in this stillness we sense comes from before our earth time here. We bless it. We bless it as a part of our heritage and part of a connection with our greater selves and our greater history. But we also sense that it is no longer necessary in our lives to hold this, to hold on to it. And so we take some more breaths and we just Allow our imagination to take us back into that DNA again, where everybody that is part of us floats by. We sense their presence and their essence. We take this feeling, this belief, this idea, knowing that we've carried it with us for generations and are fully and completely ready to release it. And we are going to release it by slowly detaching from it as we claim our original single strand of DNA, the one that represents us only. We claim it for ourselves. And so we imagine our family DNA and all the essences that make a part of it, make us a part of it. And little by little, however you picture it, in colors, in faces, imagine the ancestral DNA just fading away, and with every fade, a part of that belief and that issue just disappears. Fading and fading, more and more, more and more. More and more until it is just our own strand of DNA that remains. We sense only our presence. And we sense a shift. Not a change, but a shift in that belief, in that thinking, in that idea. And that shift moves us forward. It's like the twirling DNA stops for a moment, shifts, and then begins turning again. And we have claimed and changed this ancestral karma for ourselves and for every generation following us. And now as that strand of DNA, we know that we are ready to return to our earth space, to our physical presence that this DNA represents. And to do this, we suddenly become aware once again of our breath, moving into our body through our nose and out of our body through our mouth. And as we become very aware of that breath again, our sense of that DNA helix just fades away. It's always there. It's who we are. But our power has come from our ability and opportunity to change the course of our ancestral karma and DNA, should we choose, should we decide that it is no longer suitable for our lives. We feel our physical bodies begin to form where it had disappeared. So starting from our crown, we sense the crown of our head reappear to sight. It's never been gone. And we sense our forehead, and that feeling just moves down quickly through our body, our eyes and our nose and cheeks, our chin and our neck, our ears, our shoulders. We just feel them all reappear, all the way down our arms and our hands, down our chest and our torso and our hips and waist, and our buttocks, down our calves and our ankles, and out the bottoms of our feet. We have fully reappeared. We are still breathing. Our eyes are closed and we are relaxed. Our life and our world beckons us to return, renewed with our sense of empowerment and ability to choose and decide the course and direction of the life that we're living at this very moment. And so let us return fully to our physical space. We're going to take 3 deep breaths, and we're going to exhale them quickly, keeping our eyes closed until the 3rd breath as we inhale and exhale, and 1 more inhale and exhale, and our last breath, inhale, and we open our eyes on the last one and find ourselves returned to our physical space, feeling refreshed and invigorated, and yet relaxed and able to allow the rest of the evening to take us to a space of complete relaxation and awareness and rest. And so I hope that on this gorgeous spring, almost summer-like evening, that you have the opportunity to use the meditation and the images that you received. Perhaps you want to journal about it, or talk about it, or just revisit what messages you received along the way as you made this journey through the stillness, through your own ancestral DNA, through your own DNA. What are those images? What are those messages? How will they continue to speak with you for the rest of the week? I bid you good night. Safety wherever you travel, happiness wherever you go. Namaste, and rock on. Be well. And if you are on YouTube, remember to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Good night.